So if we don't see this information in advance, we wouldn't be able to transmit it to our citizens, and they wouldn't have a time to go to the shelters. A few times we had these breakthroughs when we actually heard the rockets flying above our heads, literally, and I was myself in that situation before the alarm. But these were very, very few times. It was probably like a couple times only. All the other times we are warned in advance, and so we can plan our activities. Whoever is near shelter can get there, and families, etc. If we don't have that information, there is enormous amount of people who will be exposed to these risks without any chance to save themselves. So obviously that's very serious, to say at least.
You know, for us who've been covering this, and myself amongst many of my colleagues who've been there covering it on the ground, it does seem a very hard thing to internalize and compute that the U.S. has completely swapped its position. Why do you think it's doing it?
Frankly speaking, I wouldn't guess. We clearly are in a very strange situation, because we for like 30 years we had United States government as our closest ally, as a major ally in terms of the investments and military support. For these 10 years of war, when it started in 2014, we are being supported by United States, by all governments, all parties, bipartisan support, etc. I know for a fact that there's the same amount of people who supported us before, they still support us now, military, civilians. We have a huge, but the fact that the government right now decides to withhold things, of course it's very, very difficult to process. I sincerely hope that the negotiations will go through and we will resume the military cooperation, because that's how we can save the stability. There's no other way.
Can I ask you to respond also to something that President Trump's Ukraine envoy, Keith Kellogg, has said? He was asked about the suspension of this aid and intelligence, and he said Ukraine brought it upon themselves. He, I think, meant President Zelensky and that bust up in the White House. And he then said, people asked, why did you do it, the interlocutor, and he said, well, the best way I can describe this pause is sort of like hitting a mule with a 2x4 across the nose. You get their attention. A mule with a big piece of wood across the nose. How do you react to that?
Well, how would you react to that? We respect General Kellogg. He's a very well-known military person. He's been supportive to Ukraine all the way through. We know that he's a government employee. We know that he abides with the government line. And what we know is that he knows exactly what's happening in the country. And from what we understand, that our government came to that meeting to sign the deal. I believe that that transaction is still ready to be accepted. So I'm not sure exactly what attention is this about. More importantly, there are people here in this country, civilians, military, a lot of civilians, who are relying on this information as a lifesaver. So if that matters, I believe that that position should be reconsidered. Mm-hmm. Ukraine is certainly ready for peace. There's absolutely no doubt for that. Ukraine certainly is ready for diplomacy. I don't think anybody doubted that. And I think that it's a time for a proper cooperation between U.S. and Ukraine, without the emotions and without the some analogies.